First of all, I would like to thank Father Anadeva and the wardens for inviting me and my wife to come for this harvest festival of yours and to preach and to be the celebrant. ඔබසිරුදරාටම මේ වෙලාවේ සුඛවන්තන විශේෂයෙන් Father Anadeva ගිහි නිලධාරීන්ට මගේ භාර්යාවත් මාවත් අද දවසේදී මම ඔබගේ අස්වැන්න මංගල්‍යයට ආරාධනා කළ නිසා බුෂිනී සිංහල බයිබල් එක ගන්න අතට කරලා ගන්න උපත්ති පළවෙනි පරිච්ඡේදයේ 28 27 B වල යන 27 අන්තිම සෙක්ෂන් එකේ යන්නේ. Right, so tell me, should I preach more in English or more in Sinhala? What can they know? Equal. Right. Okay. We look at Genesis chapter 1, verse 27 onwards. God blessed them, saying to them, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. Be masters of the fish of the sea, the birds of heaven, and all the living creatures that move on earth." God also said, "Look, to you I give all the seed-bearing plants everywhere on the surface of the earth, and all the trees with seed-bearing fruit. This will be your food, and to all the wild animals, all the birds of heaven, and all the living creatures that creep along the ground, I give all the foliage of the plants as their food." And so it was. God saw all that He had made, and indeed it was very good. Can I have the same in Sinhala?
දෙවියන් වහන්සේ තම ස්වරූපය අනුව මිනිසා කැවුසේක. දෙවියන් වහන්සේගේ ස්වරූපය අනුව වුන් මවා වදාළසේක. පුරුෂයාගේ ස්ත්‍රියද වශයෙන් වුන් කැවුසේක. දෙවියන් වහන්සේ උදාසී පදවි උඹලා ගත් සම්පත් ලබා ප්‍රතිවර්ධනය වී පොළොව පුරා පැතිර ඒ යටත් කරගන්න. මුහුදේ මතුන් කෙරෙහිද අහසෙන් පක්ෂීන් කෙරෙහිද පොළොවේ සැරිසරන සියලු සතුන් කෙරෙහිද බලය පවත්වන්නේ උඩ වදාළසේක. තවද උන්වහන්සේ මුළු පොළොව තලෙහි ධාන්‍ය දරන සියලු පැලැටිද බීජ සහිත පළ දරන සියලු ගස්ද උඹලාගේ ආහාරය පිණිස වේවා. එහෙත් පොළොවේ සියලු වනසතු සතුන්ද අහසේ පක්ෂීන්ටද උඩයන්ටද සියලු ජීවමාන සතුන්ටද ආහාර පිණිස මින් පරාදෙමින් වදාළසේක. එසේම විය. දෙවියන් වහන්සේ තමන් මවා වදාළ සියලු දේ නරඹා එක්දා මනහර බව දුසේක. සවස ගත විය. උදේ උදා විය. ඒ සයිවර දවසේ.
Thank you. I'm going to connect this to the gospel in today's context. This is going to be a very simple, and it's going to relate. I'm going to relate this to today's context. God gave us a beautiful land, a world, Garden of Eden, and He gave us seed-bearing plants for fruit. He gave us everything we needed in it. දෙවියන් වහන්සේ අපිට ලස්සන ලෝකයක් මවලා දීලා ඒ දඬුවන මවලා දීලා මේක අපිට හැමදේම දුන්නා. අපිට ගස්වල පළතුරු අපිට එළවලු මේ හැමදේම දෙවියන් වහන්සේ දුන්නා. මේ හැමදේම අපේ ප්‍රයෝජනය පිණිස ගන්නට දුන්නේ. It was for our benefit. Okay. Now let's take the oldest from this congregation. Who's the oldest parishioner here? Age-wise, who's the oldest? Anyone here? You. Who's the oldest? කවුද වැඩි මහල්ම එක්කෙනා මේ සමූහයගේ? ඒ කාලේ ඔබ තරුණ කාලේ අවුරුදු 13 අපිට 10ක තිබුණ පරිසරයයි දැන් පරිසරයයි බලනකොට ඔබට මොකක්ද පේන්නේ? What's the difference you see? Think of yourself as a 10-year-old child looking at the nature which was there then, compare it with today's. Another page. Thank you. Now can you see? As you go along, we have destroyed the creation. Holy Emmanuel Church, when it was built, 1860, that was a huge coconut estate. No other buildings, just grass, coconut trees, and then this huge structure. But today if you go there, you can see a lot of houses, developments. They are selling land also. They have a block of land. Now they are going to sell it. I don't know who's going to buy that land. If there's going to be a high-rise flats or whatever, it's going to ruin the whole atmosphere. May අපේ තිබෙන්නා වූ තිබුණා වූ පරිසරය අද අපි විනාශ කරගෙන තියෙනවා. මේක නාගරීකරණය වෙලා තියෙනවා. In a way we might say it's good. අපි මේකට කියනවා හොඳයි. අපි දියුණු වෙන සමාජයක්. But at the same time we need to realize that to develop this, we have ruined the creation of God. Now there was heavy rain, was it yesterday or day before? There was heavy rain, non-stop rain, and the whole church road was flooded. It had never got flooded. It was all underwater. All the streets, by lanes, everything underwater. මුළු පල්ලිය පාරම යට වුණා. පල්ලිය වාගේ it's about 20 feet wide, that church, that road. The whole thing was underwater. Why? Developments come up and we drink Milo and all these things and we throw it into the drain. The whole thing got stuck and the water was all over the street. The way we ruin God's creation. It's not just plants, it's everything. It's a package. මේක එන අපිට package එකක්. මේක අද අපි විනාශ කරගෙන තියෙනවා. ඇයි අපි අද ඒක විනාශ කරගෙන තියෙන්නේ? Why have we ruined it? What are we trying to do here? We try to play the role of God. අද අපි දෙවියන්ගේ චරිතය රඟපාන්න හදනවා. We have taken over everything and we produce our own genetically modified GMO. ජාන විකරණය කරන ලද ආහාර. Have you ever seen jumbo peanuts before? From where did jumbo peanuts come? You get the small peanut. Jumbo peanuts. You get so many things. Melon, you get melon which are yellow inside. The normal melon, what's the color? Red. You get yellow inside. What are they doing? They are genetically modifying everything. මේකේ මොනවද මේකේ ජාන විකරණය කරලා මේකේ ජාන වෙනස් කරලා තියෙන්නේ මේකේ මොනවද වෙන්නේ ඇඟට මේවයින් after effects තියෙනවා අපේ ඇඟට there are after effects from this. We don't realize it. We can have 1 melon, 2 melon, that's fine. But the more we take it, the more it affects our system. ඔබ ඇමරිකාවේ ලොකු ඉල්ලුමක් තියෙනවා tomatoes. තක්කාලි. There's a great need for tomatoes. Tomato paste, tomato puree, everything. Ketchup. මේකට ගොඩක් තක්කාලි ඕනේ ඇමරිකාවේ. ඒතකොට මේක winter season එකේ සීත ඍතුවේදී තක්කාලි හැදෙන්නේ නැහැ. තක්කාලි ගස් මැරෙනවා. Then the market goes down. ඉල්ලුම නැහැ. So what are they doing? They found out a system for this. They found a fish in the Arctic. At the bottom of the sea, they found a fish called flounder. And they took the DNA of the flounder and injected it into the tomatoes. And hurrah, hurrah. Even during winter, you get tomatoes. The flounder survives in cold weather. DNA was taken and injected, chemically injected to the plants. Eureka! Here we are. Tomatoes right throughout the year. Not only the DNA, chemicals were added to that. You go to McDonald's, you say, wow, what wonderful chips we have. You go to McDonald's. You know the McDonald's, we eat all the chips. We love it. Have a Macca's fry. How do they do it? That's a genetically modified potato, which is 2 feet long. Russet Burbank. Have you seen any black spots on those fries? Have you seen? No. You don't see any black spot on those potatoes, on those chips. Why? They have acres and acres of russet Burbank growing. And they spray chemicals over it so that every single insect which affects the potato dies. So nothing can penetrate through into the potato. And everything gets absorbed into the potato. And this is harvested, brought in, it's cut into long chips, it's put out to dry in dryers, and they cover it with seasoning. Again, there are chemicals. They keep it for a week, they freeze it, and they send it to McDonald's restaurants. And we eat it saying, wow, wonderful, how tasty. Mom, I also want a Macca's fry. May අපි කන දේ අද විස. එතකොට දෙවියන් වහන්සේ මේ දුන්න දේ අද අපි විනාශ කරගෙන තියෙනවා. අද විස කාලා අපි අහනවා ඇයි ස්වාමීනි අපි ලෙඩ වෙන්නේ? ඇයි අපිට මේ ලෙඩ ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ? Why do we suffer like this? We have created, we have dug our own grave, and we are asking questions from God today. Is that right? Is that right? God said, multiply, use it for your own good. That's food. There are fruits on the trees. And even the fruits, what do you get today? You get Australian apples, which are picked when they are not even ripe. They are covered in wax and they keep it. And when they become slightly red, they send it overseas. Export. We eat it. Wow, Australian apples. Shining apples. We eat it. We give our children. What do they eat? Chemicals. So can you see, my dear brothers and sisters, what a pain order. දෙවියන් වහන්සේ මේ වරක් උන්වහන්සේ මාප් වෙලා දෙවියන් බැවුම මේ ලස්සන ලෝකය අද අපි විනාශ කරගෙන තියෙන අද අපි හැමදේම අවුල් කරගෙන අපි උන්වහන්සේගෙන් අහනවා ඇයි ස්වාමීනි අපි අද මේ විදියට දුක් විඳින්නේ? We don't have pure air. Down south, Candy you go, it's polluted. It's not the same Candy which was there many years ago. It's all polluted. Why? From your area, if you look at Colombo high rises, can you see it clearly? No, there's a haze. දුමක් වගේ ඔබට පේන්නේ මේ හින්දා ඔබ බැලුවොත් නෙළුම් කුළුණ ඔය පැත්ත ඔය කොළඹ පැත්ත බැලුවොත් ඔබට පේන්නේ දුමක් වගේ එකක් අස්සෙන් පේනවා බිල්ඩින්. ඇයි ඒ? I have heard some say, oh, yes, the mist has come before Christmas. What nonsense? මොන mist එකක්ද? mist එකක් නෑ මේක තනිකර දූවිල්ල. Why? No greenery, all buildings. More vehicles we have, more pollution we have. The dust, you ask, out of 10, about 6 will have respiratory problems. Am I right, doctor? Why? We are breathing in all fumes. Laws are brought, but they are not practiced. Why is this happening? Simply because man has taken the wand into his hand and he's trying to turn the whole world around. දෙවියන්ගේ ලෝකේ වෙනස් කරන්න දුන්නාන්ස අපි වෙරුවේ. මේ අපේ තියෙන මැවිල්ල මේක අවුරුදු ගාන බිලියන ගානක් තිස්සේ එන දෙයක් මේකේ experimental period. There was an experimental period. එම නිකම්ම මහන්සිය දැන් මේ තියෙන ලෝකෙට ගෙනල්ලා අපි ටොප් කරලා හිටුවේ නෑ. Experimental period was there. Dinosaurs were there. බැලුවා මුංගෙක් ඉන්න පුළුවන්ද මිනිස්සුන්ට නෑ නේද? උන් අද හිටියන අපිට ආව දුවනවා. We would be running if dinosaurs were there. He wanted to test and see how people are going to live, what's sustainable. කොහොමද මේ මිනිස්සු ඉන්නේ යන්නේ? This was a testing period, and after all that, we were given a wonderful creation. But today, saddest part is, we are turning it into a living hell. Ada මේක සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම අපි කියන්නේ අපායක් කරගෙන තියෙනවා. This is high time for us to think about it. How many of you are growing vegetables in our gardens? Some might say, good, very good. Some might say, we don't have a garden. We live in an apartment. Understand? Yes. Samara can work in an apartment. Take up to one day, but there are ways. If you go to the markets, you see huge carrots. How come? When you were small, did you buy such big carrots from the market? Did you? No. Many vegetables don't have insects having holes or worms or whatever. Why? Even in Australia now they spray all the vegetables. Chemicals. It's brought down to Colombo. And we, the saddest part is we look for the best. We take a brinjal and we look whether there are holes, worms, has anything gone in, pricked or whatever. And we buy the ones which are very nice and shiny. Don't touch those. If you don't get any holes or anything in it, any black spots in it, that means it's loaded with chemicals. If you have black spots and if you see holes, don't worry, you bite, you cut that piece off and you use it. You know that it has no chemicals. The best thing is, you have these vaga bags, vaga bag, use those. If you don't have property, if you don't have a garden, keep it in a balcony and grow some vegetables. You need to have only one brinjal tree plant. It will produce you at least a kilo of brinjals. You can prune and keep it. You have a greenery grown in your garden, in your balcony, in vaga bags. Those bags. You can do this. If you do that, you are living safely. Otherwise, we give the best to our children, thinking we are giving the best. But in no time, you will be able to take them to doctors, specialists. And even the specialists will not be able to find out what's exactly wrong in that child. There was a child, a young boy, whose stomach started bloating. And he was taken to the doctor. Doctor did a series of tests, but he could not diagnose what was wrong with the child. So many questions were asked, but nothing happened, no revelation. Then finally he got down to his eating pattern. Then he asked the mother, what does he eat? She said, doctor, these the party. Sausages in the morning, sausages in the afternoon, sausages in the night. But kiri hoti sausage and rice, kiri hoti sausage and rice, sausage kiri hoti and rice, rice kiri hoti and sausage. Fantastic. Doctor said, stop sausages immediately. And he stopped for a month, the stomach went down without any medication. See what we are eating. See what we are eating. I am not condemning all these companies, but if they can earn money, they don't care whether they sell even poison to you. As long as they get their money, that's enough for them. Even if you die, who cares? They are not going to spend, they are not going to buy your coffin. They are not going to give you this Nescafe during the funeral ceremony. They are not going to do anything. They are going to earn, we are going to ruin our lives. So my dear brothers and sisters, remember that this was given to us to protect, not to ruin. Plant a tree. Now at least we have trees here. There's green. But there are places where there's only concrete. So remember, God never gave us a land like this. God wanted us to develop that land, use it for our benefit, use it, protect it for our future generations. We're going to be born. What are we going to leave for them? So today, I don't know whether you all have brought things from your garden. Some would have. Our Holy Manual, Sunday School, Harvest Festival, we say, we give them a time span. We start about 4 months before. We give plants to all the sections of the Sunday School. And we say, you plant this. Each child gets about 4 different plants. So they have to take it home, water it, put manure and look after it. Compost, only compost, no chemicals, all organic. And it's time for the harvest festival. When they have chilies, when they have windows, when they have ladies' fingers, They bring it to the harvest festival. All the small children should see the tiny ones bringing, brinjals and ladies' fingers in bags. Father, I grew this. Father, this is from my garden. It's so lovely to see them bring and give. That's what we sell. That's what we sell. Each one of you, if you take this challenge, next harvest festival, you can do wonders. You can do wonders. Only thing is, you have to put your heart and soul into it. If you don't put your heart and soul into God's creation and protect it and use it, nothing is going to happen. God is not going to come down and grow plants for you. He gave it to us. What are we going to do with it? Does He have to come down and say, if he comes down and plants, we will say, no, get out. These are and you can't do anything. The gospel. We will ruin him also. It's given to us. අපිට දීලා තියෙන දෙයින් අපි ප්‍රයෝජනය ගමු. I can see a plant there at the back. මොකක්ද කතර මුරුංග? Is it කතර මුරුංග? Yes. කතර මුරුංග you plant it and say, මේ ගහ වැඩක් නැහැ මේ මොකක්ද මේ ගහ ඇති තේරුමක් නැහැ. What is it? Why do we use කතර මුරුංග? We don't know the purpose. Murunga and කතර මුරුංග. Drumsticks. And this, what's the purpose? Why use that? Why are you using it? Why? Because it's green. Is that why we are using it? Then? ඇයි අපි කතර මුරුංග පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ ඇයි උනාටද? වස විස නැති වෙන්න. වස විස නැති නිසා නෙවෙයි. වස විස නැති වෙන්න. When you get prawns, you put murunga leaves into it. Why? It takes out that whatever forms in it. Sarah. Natika. So all these plants have a purpose. Every single thing has a purpose. There are children who don't eat onions. Why? The mouth smells. Sri Lankans have the best spices, not even India. We have the best spices and we use it. We use it in our curries. And all these gives us, what do you call it? A healthy body. It balances everything. මේ දෙවියන්ගේ මැවිල්ලෙන් එන දේවල් මේ ස්පයිසස් අපි දාන තුරුබඩු ඉන්දියාවෙත් නෑ මේ ඉන්දියා පාට විතරයි මසාලා they have nothing to do with the system, the human body, but what we use from the olden days have something to do with bird's fat, doesn't give cholesterol, no gastritis. All these things are given by God to use. But today, children, if you make a curry, they'll take off all the onions first and then they will eat the rest. No Melon today. Why? But they go and buy all the capsules and whack the capsules in the morning. No Melon. So the natural things we don't use, what God had given, all what man had made, we are using. We have Gotugola capsule, Caravella capsule, all the capsule bottles like on a display. But you have all the plants in the garden, go Caravella, it's bitter, right? But we take a capsule. Why? Why do we do this when we have the healthy stuff outside? God had given every single plant which has a purpose to the human body for us to use. So let us not ruin the system. අපි මේ තියෙන දේ දෙවියන්ගේ දේ උඩු යටිකුරු කරන්නේ නැතුව උන්වහන්සේ දෙන දේ අපි ආරක්ෂා කරගෙන ඉස්සරහට අරගෙන යන්න. මේ ඔබේ අස්වැන්න මංගල්‍ය ඊළඟ අවුරුද්දේ මීට වඩා සාර්ථක කරගන්න. ඔබේම ගෙවත්තෙන් අරගෙන එන්න. පටන් ගන්න ප්ලෑන් කරලා පටන් ගන්න. ඔබ දන්නවා මේ කාලේ වෙනකොට මේක වැවෙනවා මේ. Elderly people, you know this. Only thing, put your heart and soul into it. Then you will be able to do wonders with God's creation without ruining it. උන්වහන්සේගේ මැවිල්ල විනාශ කරන්නේ නැතුව අපි උන්වහන්සේගේ මැවිල්ල ආරක්ෂා කරගෙන try to be organic. Don't put any chemicals into it. I know it's very hard. It's very hard to keep it away from insects. Doesn't matter. As long as we have healthy stuff in our garden. So my dear brothers and sisters, this is a very simple message I gave you this morning. A practical message for this harvest festival. Next year, if Father Ranadeva is going to be there, yes, so Father, make sure that your congregation begins to grow from the church. You take a challenge and you give a bag, vaga bag and seeds to people, to the congregation. Give them an opportunity to grow within their property. Vikarajigate, Kurudu garden. There's a Kurudu, big tree. We use cinnamon from that. And there are seeds. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to take all the good seeds, I'm going to plant and give all the parishioners a plant, a cinnamon plant to grow in their garden. It grows within 3-4 weeks, it comes up, about that much. So we are going to do it. The church has to take an initiative and give it to the people. So you, the wardens, along with Father Ranadeva, can take up this challenge and do it. Let the congregation engage in protecting God's creation and also keeping them away from chemicals, giving them healthy food. So may God bless this parish to protect God's nature so that it would be a beneficial garden in your place for your future generations. May God bless you.